This video is brought to you by Big Bad Toy Store. Make your purchases through my personal link in the description to help out the channel. Furthermore, if you want to support me more directly, you can check out my YouTube channel membership for fun emojis and sneak peeks, or my Patreon. Links in the description.
Okay, so we're finally doing this. I've had this as my, sort of classic yet Arkham-ish Batman for a very, very long time. And, I think he's good, but I also really like the sculpt of this guy, and I really like this new head sculpt, and I really want to see what I can do with it. I'm gonna paint eyes, and I might do something with the skin tone, but first and foremost, we're gonna change the cape, and we're gonna give him this nice leather cape here, and then we're gonna give him the thighs from this guy. I want to get the arms here on this guy as well, because then I will have double jointed elbows. I might just take some parts from this guy as well, just to make this like my ultimate Batman. I much prefer the belt on this guy. First off, I'm gonna heat this entire section up so I can get the cowl off, and then we're gonna start cutting it so we can get the soft goods cape on. So let's go. So he's all heated up, and we can, the head just comes off just like so, and for this entire section, so, and boom, it all comes off somewhat easily. This is the last bit up here, which I might have to heat up on its own, maybe, or it's kind of coming off here, but I don't want to rip everything. Capes are really interesting in that they don't actually have like a post or anything that connects the head to the body. It's just like glued down here, and that's it. But now I'm gonna have to cut around this cowl piece here to get rid of this plastic cape. Turns out we don't actually need to cut at all, because apparently this piece is different from the rest of the rubber cape. So we can just kind of pull like so, and it's off perfectly. So I ordered 2 of these capes, both labeled for different figures, but they're pretty much the exact same cape. However, they have different like neck holes here, as you can see. Like this one is really big. And I didn't really see a reason why, but I just realized that it's so that this big rubber thing that the cowl attaches to is able to get inside of the hole of the cape. And I kind of messed that up, as you can see, because I didn't bother pulling the entire section out. Instead, I just cut it. But I mean, it's still salvageable, so I will just manually get the cape on right. Like, you want to follow this seam here in the middle, and you want it to go straight up, and like there is like decent. So I kind of did a few steps here off camera, but anyway, the point is that the cape is now on, and it looks really good. As you can see, he doesn't have the rest of his torso anymore, because I am currently preparing the legs. I gave him the this like rubber piece from the old figure just because the belt was painted a bit better. I could paint the belt myself, but this paint is a little bit more durable than what I could do. So I just figured I'd spare myself a headache and give him this rubber piece with the belt and everything. So now I'm going to just pull off the legs like so. And it's because I'm gonna switch the thighs with this guy, because the thighs are just a bit more muscular, and this guy has really, really thin thighs, and it looks a bit weird. And that was like my main drawback with the original figure. So how you do this is you simply grab here and you give it a good tug, and the legs come right off like that. So we do that with this figure as well. So, and now we can let's see, are these even like the same size? They're pretty much the same size, I would say. They're a little bit longer, maybe. They have the same joints, so it shouldn't really be an issue at all. I might have to modify like this bit here a little bit to... Kind of depends on if I can really be bothered. We'll see. We'll just... Okay, so with the thighs now on, it looks good, but it also looks really... I don't know, the legs look really long, and that's because the legs are actually quite a bit longer than these ones. As you can see, it's pretty much like the entire foot here. I think if we take from like this joint here, like we just remove these pegs here, and then we slot them in here, I think it's gonna look fine. I'm not really sure if I'm gonna bother with the line work here. I don't know, but for now we're just gonna heat up these legs, and then we're gonna pop off the joints here. Okay, so hopefully I've heated up this enough, and we can just kind of... There we go, finally worked the stupid peg out. And now we just have to do the same thing with all the other legs I'm going to use. So bear a bit. Okay, so all the parts are off, and these are the pins. As you can see, they're very different. This one is from the Three Jokers Batman, and it's because the legs are a lot thicker. This is from the Arkham one, so we don't really need this, we just need this. So as luck would have it, it seems to be pretty straightforward. So yeah, we're just gonna have to heat this up again, and then I'll push the pin back in. So hopefully that's enough. As you can see, pretty gummy here, so we're gonna put this in here. So there we go. And now grab some tissue, because I'm gonna use these pliers here to push the joint in, to push the pin in, and I don't want to damage the figure or like leave any marks, so this tissue helps, you know, protecting the plastic a little bit. And with the thighs now switched, this looks so freaking cool. If McFarlane just re-released this figure with these thighs retooled to have like the lines, it would be pretty much spot on. I don't know, I really would like the double elbows as well, but I did a little experimenting earlier, and okay, so the way you remove arms is you pretty much just pull as well, and you have this little cap here, and I did it with the Three Jokers Batman as well. So, but the thing is, these pegs are not even close to being the same length. So, what do we do? It kind of works if you just, you know, get them in like so, and you know, he still has some range, but I don't really like this big gap that's here. It's not awful, especially not with the cape hiding most of it, but I don't know, I still would like some form of protection, some sort of like cover up for like the inner workings here. I might just be able to simply hollow out this cap like even more to just pretty much stick around the entire thing, make it look really thin. I'm not really sure how these arms, because I assume this is like, yeah, this is a traditional pin and socket joint like I would assume it would have been. So the thing is, I can't make a new joint here either, because you see how, like, if I drill down here, it's gonna hit this entire joint section, and I think that's the issue with having the entire like double jointed setup. I guess I could cut off this part and drill a hole in. You know what, I think I will do just that. I think I'm gonna cut off this entire bit and then drill a hole similar in width to this joint here. Then after that, I'm going to have to find a way to get these gauntlets on, because I really like these gauntlets. The original Arkham Asylum gauntlets aren't nearly as techy. It's more like a big pad of metal armor here, but I like how this is actual gear. I'm gonna have to think about this for a bit. Okay, so I really like how this looks now, but I'm gonna give the gauntlets here a little bit of a dry brush with Vallejo gunmetal, just to grit it up a little bit and bring out some of these details. So just like a little bit like so, give it a nice metallic sheen. So like you see here, it just looks a bit more like metal than this plain black one. Gotta be careful about it not accidentally rubbing off on the cape though, before the silver has dried completely. Okay, so I think this is pretty much complete now. Just put in the arm a little bit like that. And so I am so torn on this. I really like the Arkham Knight figure, but this is just so clean and looks so good. I still do love this figure, but I might actually go about and sell him on eBay. I don't know. Like, I like him a lot, but I think it's time to give him a new home. And if anyone is interested in this guy, then I will put an eBay link in the description. I think the eyes turned out really good, but also I just think like the sculpt itself makes him look a bit sleepy. I wonder what it looks like with a head swap, because I do love the Arkham Knight head. Oh my god, this actually looks really good. No, I think I prefer this one. I love how intense it is, and I do love how Bruce looks in Arkham Knight. I think I'll just, like, I guess the like techie part of the cowl doesn't really fit with like the rubber or like whatever this material is supposed to be, but I just love how he looks. He looks so good. So yeah, in the end, this is what I'm going with. So to sum it up, this is pretty much the Arkham City McFarlane Batman figure with the 3 Jokers thighs and the Arkham Knight McFarlane's head. A little bit of dry brushing on the gauntlets to make them pop a little bit more, and a custom cape bought on eBay, along with the original McFarlane Arkham Asylum's like trunks and belt. So the reason why I went for this is because I really like the Arkham Knight look, but in the end, there's something so good looking just about this classic Batman color scheme and silhouette. Like, it's so simple, yet he's got like these bits of tech, and he doesn't have any like too overly detailed, complicated lines. Like, I like the Arkham Knight design a lot, like I said, but I never really like these lines here and like this bit of black here just for the sake of it, and like it's the same here on the arms. I just don't really care too much for it. And I also really love this head sculpt that came with Arkham Knight figure, this figure originally. This is the Arkham City head I just threw on there. I think my repaint of this head, like, I basically just added eyes, and I think I did a pretty good job, but the sculpt just makes him look a little bit tired. I don't know, the sculpt just makes him look a bit tired, and I'm not really there for it. Meanwhile, this one has this really intense look. Like, I really like how Bruce looked in Arkham Knight, and I think this McFarlane head sculpt pretty much perfectly captures that. So yeah, this is what I'm going with. I might go back at some point and try to incorporate double jointed elbows, but I'm pretty alright with how it looks at the moment. Like I said, I might go back at some point. For those of you who are wondering, this is my original Batman that I've gone with for a very long time. The cape is way higher quality than this one, but it's glued down to this figure, and he's also got my customized Arkham City head sculpt, and you know, I love this guy. But if anyone is interested, he's up on my eBay at the moment, so if you'd like him in your collection, then, you know, just click the link. Finally, I'd like to dedicate this video to Kevin Conroy, who unfortunately passed away from cancer earlier this year. He will always be my one and only Batman, and for the time we had him, I am forever grateful. Rest in peace, Kevin.
Gotham City. My city. Full of corruption and vice, cruelty and evil. A place of darkness crying out for a dark night to save the innocent and strike fear into the hearts of criminals. This is why I prowl the night. Why I became Batman. Criminals, consider yourself warned and be afraid.